In Schedule 1 there are plenty of different products you can make and sell to build your empire, but today we're ignoring all but one of them. Because in this challenge we can only sell weed. The goals of this challenge are to beat the Benzies, get all the businesses and all the properties up to the docks, and to unlock all the customers. Anyway, enough waffling from me, let's jump into this challenge. Firstly, we start off by creating our character, and I've gone for an all green look to match the only OG Kush vibe. We spawn into the RV and we water both plants. We get a message from an unknown number. This unknown contact turns out to be our Uncle Nelson, and he says that we need to go collect 3 dead drops. But before we collect the dead drops, let's harvest both plants and take all the stuff we're going to need. So I collected all 3 dead drops. I was walking down the street and I saw an explosion, and when I arrived at the RV it was blown up by none other than the Benzie family. I spoke to Uncle Nelson and he said for now we need to get the motel room. I went to Donna and now just like that we have a motel room. Straight away I placed down all the things we stole from the RV, and then I did a little bit of packaging. And while we're packaging, if you have any ideas for me, let me know in the comments below. I gave out my first free sample and we got our first new customer. I then deposited some money and bought some soil, and I placed the soil in both grow pots. I spoke to Uncle Nelson and he's hooked us up with a supplier so we can buy seeds. So straight away I ordered some, and while waiting for the seeds I give out 2 free samples. I collected the dead drop, watered and planted both seeds, and I listed OG Kush for sale. I gave out another free sample. I bought some baggies and a trash bag, and just like that a customer messaged us, so we scheduled the deal and completed the deal straight away. I did even more packaging. I cleaned up the mess that I made. I then emptied the bin into a trash bag. I then put it in the cash for trash machine to get some extra cash. I completed 2 more deals. I speak to Uncle Nelson, he says that we need to start saving up for the next room. And I unlocked 4 more customers. Look how many customers we've unlocked on day 1, that's crazy. And I harvested the plants that we planted earlier. I'm taking all the equipment that we need for the next room. After speaking to Miss Ming, and now we're $800 down, but we have the brand new room. And I moved all the things we took from the motel room into this new room. And just like that, we're leaving the motel room. I spoke to Uncle Nelson again. We need to get close to either Chloe, Ludwig or Beth to unlock our first dealer. Sometimes Schedule 1 is so serious, so it's time to take a chill pill and shoot some hoops. And I'm not gonna lie, I should stay in retirement because I'm absolutely ass. After shooting some hoops, I went to bed and we're already street rat level 4. I then complete a deal, get a new customer, and I'm now street rat level 5. I did some more packaging. As you can see, I'm now using jars. Now that I have enough money, I go to buy the golden skateboard, and like every video, I then go to knock him out and get my money back. After getting my money back, I unlock 7 customers in a row, which is crazy. And as you can see, we only have 1 more left. I then complete a deal with Chloe, which means now we can hire Benji. So I hire Benji, give him some product and assign him some customers. Keith comes running out of nowhere and he wants some products, so I offer him a deal, but for some reason he starts attacking me, so I had to kill him. I spoke to Uncle Nelson and he wants us to buy a mixing station. I'm now Hoodlum level 2 and we've unlocked Westville. I unlock another 2 customers. I buy a mixing station and place it down. I then go to Gasmart to buy some ingredients like kook, banana and donut. I then pay back Albert and I complete a load of deals. I did a deal with Charles and now we can hire Molly. So I hire Molly and assign her some customers. I'm now Hoodlum level 4. I got a message from an unknown contact. This unknown contact turns out to be Thomas Benzie, you know, the one that blew up our RV, and now he wants to work with us, like what the skibbity. But if you saw the video, I worked with this guy once. He didn't pay me enough, so I'm not going to work with him again, so we're going to decline his offer and they can piss off, boys. I then buy some spray paint and then I start graffitiing, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another Schedule 1 video. I unlock another 2 more customers. I visit Benji and Unc wants to speak to us and he wanted us to get in the warehouse. So we asked if we could get in the warehouse and they let us in. I talked to Oscar, the guy you can get guns from and the guy you can hire employees from. Then Unc wanted to talk again and he said that we need to get supplies to make meth. So I buy all the supplies I need, chemistry station, lab oven and all the other stuff. I place down the chemistry station, collect the dead drop, and now that I have everything that we need, we can start making the mix. Now all we got to do is wait for it to finish. I'm now peddler level 1 and we've unlocked downtown. Now that the mix is finished, I put it into the lab oven. I then buy 2 more pots, 2 more grow lights and the better packaging station. I place the pots down and I swap the old packaging station for the new one. I also place down the new racks and lights. and packaging with this new packaging station is so much better than the old one. I unlock another 3 customers, and now the meth was finally done, so we smash it up and the quest is complete. But as I said at the start, we're going to bin it because it's not OG Kush. I unlock another 2 customers, and I visit both my dealers to collect their earnings and give them product. I'm now peddler 2 and we've unlocked the docks. Then I sell guns to Mick that I stole from the police. I deposit some money and then I buy the bungalow off Ray. Uncle Nelson calls us again and he wants us to start laundering some money, so we have to buy a business. But before we do that, we've got to move all the stuff from this room to the bungalow. Now I'm at the bungalow, I placed all the stuff down we just took from the old room. And here's a tour of the bungalow. I then hire our first employee, which is going to be a botanist, and they're going to be managing like the grow pots and the water and the harvesting, all that sort of stuff. I place down some more stuff and take the bed. Time to say goodbye to the sweatshop. It was okay, but now it's time to move on. I place the bed down and I buy even more grow pots, suspension racks and the lights. I place down all the new pots, suspension racks and lights in the bungalow. And then I assign all of the 8 pots to our new botanist. I'm now peddler level 3. The first thing I did was bought a locker, placed it down, assigned it to my employee and then paid my employee. Then after doing all that, I decided to move the locker. I did a bit more graffiti and then bought loads more graffiti with a glitch. And just look how much graffiti we have in our inventory, it's crazy. I graffiti on top of my bungalow. Okay, so I was graffitiing and the Benzies spotted me and started chasing me. Now the problem I had was the fact that my inventory was full of graffiti, which means I had no weapon, so I literally had to punch these guys one at a time, and my stamina was so low and oh, it was such a mess. But in the end I was about to die, so I made a quick decision to save my game, and thank God I did, because I got killed straight after that. And because I did save my game, I haven't lost any progress, but they did defeat me. Then I did some more graffitiing around the docks. Okay, so the Benzies graffiti here, so if we get rid of it, that lowers the cartel presence, and then if we graffiti again, that lowers it even more. And of course, I left a little note to the Benzies to what I think about them. Wow, we have so much product in this shelf. I met up with my supplier to buy loads of OG Kush seeds, and we gained loads of XP today. I unlocked another 4 customers in a row. Then I hired the second employee of this challenge, which is going to be a handler, so they're going to be doing all the packaging for us. I then bought another locker and placed it next to the other one. I then assigned my handler the packaging station, and of course I assigned her the correct routes. I then put some extra money in both of their lockers, and it's good to see that my packager is actually working. I then did a deal, but the customer wasn't happy at me, so they attacked me for some reason. And I was just checking and we're still quite a way off for unlocking the cauldron. I did level up to Hustler 2 and we have unlocked Suburbia. Then I pawned the chemistry station to Mick because I don't need it. And I've bought the first business of this challenge, which is the laundromat. So I go to it and I launder 2k. When I was playing this, I never realised this guy actually lived in this container. I kind of thought it was just empty, but anyway, we gave him a free sample and he said no. I completed a deal with Elizabeth and we can get shrooms, but obviously we're not doing that. I then completed another deal and we can now hire Brad. So I hired Brad, gave him some product and of course assigned him some customers. I then bought a drying rack and placed it down and left 20 OG Kush to dry. I'm now Hustler level 3. I bought loads of ingredients from Gasmart like banana, gasoline, paracetamol, kook and mega bean because these were all going to make the best OG Kush mix. Then I mix it with all these ingredients that we just bought, and yeah, I think we're mixing it like 8 times or something, I can't really remember. But anyway, the final product is worth $171 and we call it the best name in the world, Pink Balls. And then we listed Pink Balls for sale. Also packaged all of the 20 OG Kush that finished drying. And I leveled up to Hustler level 5. And for the first time in this challenge, we're ordering a delivery to our bungalow so we don't have to faff around with getting the ingredients. I gave out another free sample and we got a new customer. I tried giving out a free sample, but this was happening right now. Anyway, let's ignore that because she's a new customer. For the first time in this video, I spotted a Benzie dealer, I checked his inventory and then I knocked him out. But then the Popo saw me, so we had to run away. I got another 2 customers. This is what happens when you smoke pink balls, guys. I got another 2 customers. I gave a free sample to Jackie and she was doing some weird hand movements. I bought 8 air pots, suspension racks and lights. And I hired another botanist because we need another one to manage all these new pots that I bought. Anyway, I'm back at the bungalow and I'm placing all the pots down and we are really running out of space in this room. But anyway, I placed all the pots down and then I assigned them to my new botanist. And I'm now bagman level 1. I gained another 3 customers. And look at how much money the dealers made today. I spotted another Benzie dealer, I checked his pockets and then I knocked him out. And I stole all of his items, but I binned the items that are not OG Kush. I unlocked yet another 3 customers. I did a deal and it was unlocked the coca seed supplier. And I'm now bagman level 2. I bought the second business off this challenge, which is the post office. And I laundered 4k there. I ran over Jeremy, gave him a free sample and he said no. I spot another Benzie dealer, so I knock him out and steal all his stuff. I got another customer and went to all of my dealers just to collect their earnings and give him product. I completed a double deal and the one with Billy meant we could hire Jane. I complete some more deals. I go to Jane to hire her and then I sign her some customers. I'm now bagman level 3 and I've unlocked Uptown. Jane now has loads of product. I then gave out loads of free samples and got another 6 customers. I spoke to Uncle Nelson and because we've lowered the cartel presence in all regions, we can finally blow them up. Well, we can do soon. But first we've got to speak to Billy and Sam. So firstly I speak to Sam and he's going to dig us a tunnel but for 10k, so I pay him straight away. What is bro holding? I spoke to Billy and he wants 20 of the pure stuff, so we're going to have to start making that for him. I did a deal and we can hire our 4th dealer. So I hired our 4th dealer and then I signed him some customers, and then I realised I only signed him 9 out of 10 because he didn't have another customer in suburbia. And I checked, the reason why we couldn't assign him 10 people is because we hadn't unlocked all 10 people in suburbia. So I went to give him a free sample and he said yes, so we assigned that 10th customer to our dealer. I'm also bagman level 5. Then to get the last bit of XP we needed, I did a little bit of XP farming with the police. And now I could buy the cauldron and I placed it down. I unlocked 5 customers in a row, and by looking on the map we only had 1 left. I planted the last coca seed that we needed. And because the other coca plants finally grew, I used their leaves to put them in the cauldron with the gasoline. And after we did it for the first time, we did it again as we needed to do it twice. While the other cauldron was going, I put the stuff into the lab oven. While waiting for all of that, I did a deal, but he suddenly attacked me. And when I got back to the bungalow, the first 10 cocaine had finished. So I moved the lab oven and put the rest of it into the lab oven. Waited ages for it. But it finally finished, so we smashed it up and now we have 20 cocaine. Now the last thing we need to do is package it up into jars so we can give it to Billy. We gave it to Billy and he gave us an explosive. And we gave out our last free sample because he's a new customer. Now all customers are unlocked. As you can see on the app here on the phone, all customers have been unlocked, so that's one of our big goals out of the way. But I had to speak to Stan because to turn this explosive into a bomb, I needed to kill some random guy who lingers at the docks. I went round looking for him on my skateboard, but he wasn't here, probably because I spoke to Stan at 4 AM and nothing new spawns in, maybe, something like that. I took the cauldron and some other things to sell to Mick as I didn't need them anymore. After lots of laundering, I went to Ray to buy the barn. And here's a tour of the barn. This will be the second to last property we buy, but this will be where we're kind of setting everything up to like automate everything. This took so much laundering and the docks is like 50k as well. Oh my days. I bought some bigger storage cabinets and placed them down in the barn. I gave our dealer some more product. And I started taking everything out of the bungalow bit by bit because we're not going to have 2 setups. I also transferred an employee over to the barn. Now that I'm at the barn, I placed all the suspension racks, grow pots, lights, everything. I then spotted the stranger, so I knocked him out and killed him and then had to shoot him again. I transferred the other 2 employees from the bungalow to the barn. I went back to Stan and just like that we have the bomb. I placed down 8 more suspension racks. I bought 8 more of the grow pots and the grow lights. I placed all of that down next to the other ones, which means we have 16 grow pots altogether. I hired another employee and it's a botanist. And I'm buying loads of drying racks from Oscar because we need the product to be a better standard for the more expensive customers. So I placed the drying racks down and made it so the pots went straight to the drying racks. I bought 2 brick presses and I placed one down with a cabinet. And of course we cannot forget to pay our employees. And here's how everything's looking so far. I placed my bed down and went to sleep because tomorrow's going to be a big day. The time has come to blow up the Benzies. Let's place this bomb and find a nice spot. Okay, here we do. Watching the Benzies getting blown up never gets old. Then I pawned lots of stuff to Mick from the bungalow that we don't need anymore, like old grow pots that are kind of useless and old shelves. And just like that, it's time to say goodbye to the bungalow. I bought a load of mixing stations and placed them down all next to each other. And annoyingly, because we moved properties, I had to redo the delivery thing. I bought a few AC units and placed them down near the drying racks to improve them. Then I hired 2 chemists, and if you didn't know, they're going to be like running the mixing stations. So I signed my new employees with the mixing stations. Placed a cabinet and called it mixing supplies. I then hired another employee and this time we're hiring a handler. And I'm assigning them routes, so basically they're going to like restock all of the mixing stations. And they can even take things from deliveries to the cabinets. I visited all my dealers, and as you can see, our product's in bricks now, which kind of just saves us on packaging it. I then bought the car wash to help us launder more money faster. I laundered 6k, and I placed even more drying racks. I then placed another brick press. I then bought another 8 grow pots, 8 tents and 8 lights. I also hired another botanist to look after these grow pots. I placed all the new items pretty much exactly like the other ones, but kind of just on the other side of the barn. While assigning pots, I made a realisation you can actually multi-select them and then assign them rather than doing one at a time. Like, I just realised this, like, what the hell. I then did my first deal with a brick. And as you can see, my employees working hard. I visited some of my dealers again. And after lots of laundering, I finally can buy the last business in the game, which is Taco Ticklers. So I laundered 8k there, then 2k, and then 4k. I did a deal with Ray, which means we can finally unlock the last dealer in the game. So I hire him and assign him all of the customers. Ray then messages about Highland Manor, but we're not going to buy it in this video because as you can see, it's so expensive. All I need to do now is launder this money and we can buy the docks. And a little while later, while waiting for it to launder, we finally have enough money to buy the docks. So I go to Ray to buy the docks for 50,000, but I don't want to go to the docks on my own, so I'm knocking out Ray and I'm dragging him with me. So I pretty much drag him through the entire map. Even some police officers saw me do it and they're not bothered. So I took him inside of the docks and I placed him in the middle of the room and I did some things to him. But anyway, let's ignore that because it brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you have any other ideas for any other videos in the future, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for all of the support on the last few videos. It really is just crazy. But before we end this video, let's look at the plant pots and the mixing stations that actually helped us through this entire thing. And of course the barn itself, it was so helpful. But anyway, thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next Schedule 1 video.